Plant FAQs, Platycerium superbum, Moosehorn fern. I've always found Moosehorn fern, also known as Platycerium superbum, to be a fascinating addition to my plant collection. This unique fern, with its dramatic, antler-like fronds, adds an exotic touch to any space. In this article, I'll address some frequently asked questions about the Moosehorn fern, including care tips, comparisons with the Staghorn fern, and the nuances of mounting and propagating this beautiful plant. What is a Moosehorn fern? The Moosehorn fern, or Platycerium superbum, is a type of epiphytic fern native to the tropical rainforests of Australia and Southeast Asia. Unlike typical ferns, it doesn't grow in the ground. Instead, it clings to trees, absorbing nutrients from the air and rainwater. The fern is named for its large, bifurcated fronds that resemble the antlers of a moose, making it a striking focal point in any plant collection. Moosehorn fern versus Staghorn fern. The Moosehorn fern, Platycerium superbum, and all Staghorn fern are both members of the Platycerium genus, but they have distinct characteristics. The Moosehorn fern is known for its large, shield-shaped basal fronds that are more rounded and less divided, giving it a more compact and symmetrical appearance. It tends to grow larger than other Staghorn ferns and has a more pronounced, dramatic presence. How to care for a Moosehorn fern. Caring for a Moosehorn fern involves mimicking its natural environment as closely as possible. Since it's an epiphyte, you'll want to avoid planting it in soil. Instead, mounting it on a piece of wood or bark is ideal, allowing it to absorb moisture and nutrients from the air. Light. Moosehorn ferns thrive in bright, indirect light. Direct sunlight can scorch the fronds, so it's best to place them in a spot where they receive filtered light, similar to the dappled sunlight they would get under a forest canopy. Watering. These ferns prefer high humidity, so regular misting is crucial, especially in drier climates. When watering, I make sure to soak the base thoroughly, allowing it to dry slightly between waterings. Overwatering can lead to rot, so it's important to strike a balance. Temperature. Moosehorn ferns prefer a warm environment, ideally between 60 to 80 degrees Fahrenheit. They are not frost-tolerant, so if you live in a cooler climate, it's best to keep them indoors or in a greenhouse during the colder months. Mounting a Moosehorn fern. Mounting a Moosehorn fern is both an art and a science. I like to use a piece of hardwood or a corkboard, which provides a sturdy base for the fern to anchor itself. To mount the fern, I position the base on the wood and secure it with wire or fishing line, ensuring it's stable but not too tight. Over time, the fern will attach itself to the mount, creating a stunning living sculpture. Platycerium superbum growth rate. The growth rate of Platycerium superbum can be slow, especially in less than ideal conditions. In its native habitat, this fern can grow quite large, but indoors, growth may be more modest. Patience is key, as it can take several years for the fern to reach its full potential. However, the wait is worth it for the stunning display it provides. Platycerium superbum spores and propagation. Propagating Platycerium superbum can be a bit challenging. This fern reproduces via spores, which are produced on the underside of the fronds. While it's possible to collect and grow these spores, it's a slow process and requires specific conditions, such as high humidity and warmth. I've found that propagation through division, where you carefully separate pups from the mother plant, is more effective for home gardeners. Platycerium superbum cabbage. You might hear the term Platycerium superbum cabbage in reference to the appearance of the sterile fronds that form a shield at the base of the plant. This shield helps the fern collect organic matter and moisture, which it uses to feed itself. These fronds eventually turn brown and dry up, but I like to leave them in place as they continue to provide nourishment to the plant. What to plant with Moosehorn fern? When it comes to companion planting, Moosehorn ferns do well with other tropical plants that appreciate similar conditions. I often pair mine with orchids, bromeliads, and other epiphytes like tillandsia. These plants share the Moosehorn fern's preference for bright, indirect light and high humidity, creating a lush, jungle-like display. Conclusion. Caring for a Moosehorn fern can be a rewarding experience. Its unique appearance and the challenge of cultivating such a magnificent plant make it a favorite among fern enthusiasts. Whether you're mounting it on a piece of wood, nurturing its slow growth, or simply enjoying its dramatic fronds, the Moosehorn fern is a true testament to the beauty and diversity of the plant kingdom.